अब सुरु गरौँ What are the payments that are liable to deduction of tax at source under the Income Tax Act 2058 भनेर भनेको छ The following payments are subject to withholding taxes as per Income Tax Act 2058 Payment by resident employer to employees or laborer on employment income section 87 Payment having source in Nepal by resident person as follows तपाईहरुलाई थाहा छँदैछ section 88 Windfall gain section 89 त्यसपछि आएर payments related to contractor agreement exceeding rupees 50,000 in any moving 11 days period section 89 payment related to contractor agreement to non-resident persons payment in respect of insurance premium to non-resident persons payment of reinsurance commission to non-resident insurance companies payment exceeding rupees 50 lakhs where any activity is carried out through consumer group यति नै हो section 87 88 88 को 89 त्यो बारेमा तपाईहरुले लेख्नु पर्यो तपाईहरुलाई आउँछ A private limited is paying general insurance premium rupees 10,000 to an insurance company. Mention the rate for withholding tax if any and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. With general insurance premium कसलाई पे गर्यो भनेर हेर्नु पर्यो. Insurance company conclusion मा जाउँ. Since the payment of insurance premium to non-resident person attracts withholding tax at the rate 1.5% on such payment as per section 89(3) If the insurance company in question is a non-resident insurance company, tax shall be withheld at the rate 1.5%. However, there is no governing principle that requires withholding of taxes while making payment of insurance premium to non-resident insurance companies. यो conclusion तपाईहरुले पढ्नुभयो होला, बुझ्नु पनि भयो होला, के क्वेशन छ भने सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ. Withholding of taxes by employers भन्ने छ. यसको पनि आन्सर छ हेरिसक्नु भयो होला तपाईहरुले taken voluntary retirement from ABC Limited on X73-1031 after serving the employer for 13 years and 2 months the employer has paid him 2,10,000 in connection with voluntary retirement a gratuity of rupees 1,80,000 and leave salary of rupees 1,50,000 the employee was getting the basic pay rupees 15,000 per month at the time of retirement The employer has unrecognized provident fund and has contributed rupees 3,000 per month to the unrecognized provident fund. The employee has also contributed an equal amount. The employer has credited interest यति भनेपछि टोटल कुराहरु छ यसमा सबैभन्दा पहिलो कुरा चाहिँ उसको इम्प्लोयमेन्ट इन्कम तपाईले क्याल्कुलेट गर्नु पर्यो र त्यसमा 1% ट्याक्स लाग्यो विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्सको अब्लिगेसन नै हो रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टमा BRS payment, gratuity, leave salary, RF payment, additional leave payment भनेर आछ यो यसरी TDS लाग्छ भन्ने कुरा छ तपाईहरुले यो हेर्नु भयो होला बुझ्नु भयो होला भन्ने मेरो धारणा रह्यो Mr. Ram has 2,30,000 as employment income 64.65 and his status is single and eligible deduction as retirement contribution donation and investment insurance premium is 98,000 Mention the rate for withholding of tax. Give your B whether it is final withholding or not. Your final withholding होइन भन्ने कुरा हो क्वेशन गाह्रो पनि छैन माथि जस्तै हो ठ्याक्कै फाइनल withholding होइन डिभिडेन्डमा ट्याक्सेसन आयो Mr. Ram, a resident person, received dividend of rupees 50,000 from Balgopal Limited. Balgopal Limited distributed dividend of rupees 6 lakhs out of 950,000 received as dividend from A1 Limited, who declared a dividend of rupees 25 lakhs and distributed the dividend after deducting the source. Calculate the amount of tax to be deducted by Balgopal Limited on dividend amount paid to Mr. Ram. As per section 54 subsection 3, तपाईहरुलाई थाहा छ मैले हिजो पनि भनेथे वा रेगुलर पनि भनिरा हो The dividend tax is exempt while paying dividend out of the profit on which dividend tax as per section 54(1) has already been levied. पुरो बुझिन मैले बिनै क्वेशन बुझिन
जस्तो काई पनि डिपोजिट गरेर उले आफूसँग मात्र राखेर निक्लिने बेलामा दियो भने त्यसलाई अनअप्रुभ त भन्न मिल्दैन होला नि है
मतलब विथड्रल गरेर आफूले नै राख्यो
आफूले ब्याङ्कमा एउटा अकाउन्ट बनाएर राखिराख्यो भने त त्यसलाई अनअप्रुभ भन्न नमिल्ला नि
कन्ट्रिब्युसन छ कि छैन
इम्प्लोयरको कन्ट्रिब्युसन त छ
इम्प्लोयीको कन्ट्रिब्युसन छ कि छैन
इम्प्लोयर इम्प्लोयीको जस्ट अब जसरी हामीले इपिएफ र सिआइटी मा गर्छौं त्यसरी नै पैसा चाहिँ काट्यो तर डिपोजिट चाहिँ ब्याङ्कमा गएर राखिराख्यो भने त्यसलाई
त्यो त अनअप्रुभड मान्नै पर्यो नि कन्ट्रिब्युटरी हुन सक्छ 5% मा गइहाल्यो
ए हस् इम्प्लोयीको कन्ट्रिब्युसन थिएन भने चाहिँ
कर्मचारीको कन्ट्रिब्युसन छैन भने 15%
15%
त्यही हो कन्ट्रिब्युटरी हो भने 5% Since Palgoval has distributed dividend out of profit that forms wholly out of dividend received from A1 Limited, there shall be no dividend tax on dividend received by Mr. Ram भन्ने कुरा आयो नन रेसिडेन्ट एन्टिटी हुन्थ्यो भने चाहिँ रामले आफ्नो इन्कम इन्क्लुड गर्नुपर्छ एज पर सेक्सन 54 सबसेक्सन 2 What will be your answer if Palgoval Limited is a cooperative incorporated under Cooperative Society Act 2074 2074 industry based on agro products or forest products बनाएको छ as per section 11(2) when a cooperative mentioned in that subsection makes distribution of profit such distribution is exempt from dividend tax therefore there would be no dividend tax in this case भन्ने कुरा यो more or less सबै कुराको एन्सर छ है नभएको कुरामा फेरि फर्दर डिस्कसन भइहाल्छ Morgan Bank International Limited, a joint venture bank operating in Nepal, declared dividend at the rate of 25% of paid-up capital. Mr. William, an American citizen, is the owner of 10% of the paid-up capital of the bank. Accordingly, the bank has to pay 50 million to Mr. William as dividend. Mr. William visited Nepal just for collecting his dividend return to America after completing all the legal formalities. Discuss the tax implication of our transaction and determine the amount of tax to be deducted by Morgan Bank Limited at the time of payment to Mr. William. Dividend मा 5% हो त्यो फाइनल विड्रोलिङ हो भनेपछि सकियो त्यही अनुसार एन्सर आयो सकियो त्यो अरु जेसुकै पनि डिभिडेन्डको फाइनल विड्रोलिङ 5% भनेर तपाईले लेखेर क्याल्कुलेट गर्दिएपछि एन्सर सकियो वर्ल्ड वाइड बैंक लिमिटेड a joint venture bank operating in Nepal declared dividend at the rate 20% of paid capital for the financial year 63-64 at its general meeting held on 30th October 2007. Mr. John, an American citizen, is the owner of 10% of paid-up capital of the bank. So, when the dividend को केसमा 5% final withholding कुरा सकियो. The straightforward company limited declared a dividend of 20% on its paid-up capital. Paid-up share capital 50 लाख छ. Distribution of share capital Nepalese लाई, Indian लाई, German लाई यति छ. Dividend tax कति हुन्छ भनेको छ. जोसुकैलाई डिस्ट्रिब्युट गरे 5% हो कुरा सकियो. Calculate dividend tax. The company has to deduct and pay from the following information. Dividend from other companies 4 lakh, interest on advance given 6 lakh, rent received net 5 lakh, dividend 7 lakh 50,000 को छ भनेर भनेछ. भनेपछि टोटल प्रॉफिट को कम्पोजिसन हो त्यो accumulated profit को कम्पोजिसन. Section 54 subsection 3 को अनुसार चाहिँ dividend tax is exempt while paying dividend out of profit. Unless dividend tax as per section 54(1) has already been levied. Out of the total distributable profit of 15 lakhs, 4 lakh is dividend from other companies. If we assume other companies are resident, the amount so received as dividend from other companies is the amount on which dividend tax as per section 54(1) is already levied. The company declared dividend of rupees 7 lakh 50,000 out of available profit of 15 lakh. The amount on which dividend tax is not applicable भनेको चाहिँ 7 लाख 50,000 multiplied by 4 लाख divided by 15 लाख 2 लाख रुपैयाँ. The amount on which dividend tax is applicable भनेको 5 लाख 50,000. Dividend tax भनेको कति भयो भन्दा 5 लाख 50,000 को 5% भयो 27,500 भयो. भनेपछि यसमा प्रोपोर्सनेट गर्नुपर्छ तपाईहरुले. केही छ नबुझेको अहिले सम्म give me the question please. नबुझेको केही छ भने क्वेशन सोध्नु है. छैन जस्तो छ. अर्को withholding tax on contract payments. The price of a contract is rupees 2 lakhs, but the part payments are made in 5-month installment of rupees 4 lakhs 40,000 each. Will the provision of withholding tax as per section 89 be applicable? भन्दा no. 50,000 भन्दा माथि भयो moving 11 days period मा मात्र भने मात्रै tax withholding हुने हो यो केसमा नो as per section 89 subsection 1 where a person makes payment under any contract or agreement exceeding rupees 50,000 the person shall withhold tax at the rate 1.5% of the payment. Section 89 2 threshold of 50,000 shall be determined based on payment under contract or agreement on the date of the payment and the total payments for the same contract made on immediately preceding 10 days. In the given case, the payment in any moving 11 days period does not exceed rupees 50,000. Therefore, 11 days period does not exceed rupees 50,000. Therefore, there shall be no withholding of taxes. With regards to alternative question, 50,000, 40,000, 50,000 or 60,000, 50,000, the threshold of 50,000 exceeds while making payment of 60,000 and not in all other cases. Therefore, tax shall be withheld at 1.5% while making payment of rupees 60,000 and there shall be no applicability of section 89 while making payment of rupees 50,000, 40,000 and 40,000. And 40,000. अब यस्तो मिस्टेकहरु चाहिँ तपाईहरुले थाहा पाउनु पर्छ and 50,000 चाहिँ सरी 40,000 भन्दैछ 50,000 40,000 and 50,000 60,000 बाहेक अरु केसमा चाहिँ काट्नु भएन. NB Bank has an agreement with Kathmandu Security Service for the security of bank and it pays 120,000 per month. Mention the rate for withholding of tax and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. Section 89 subsection 1 50,000 भन्दा माथि moving 11 days period मा भयो भने 0% ले TDS काट्नु पर्छ. Contract or agreement ले contract for supply of human resources लाई पनि कभर गर्छ. काठमाडौँ सेक्युरिटी सर्भिसेस सँग एनबी बैंकले गरेको कन्ट्र्याक्ट र एग्रीमेन्टको परिभाषा भित्र पर्यो. त्यही भएर 0% टीडीएस काट्नु पर्यो र यो फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ होइन. $94 माथिकै सिमिलर क्वेशन हो. XYZ had entered into a contract and outsources the security of the business premises to Gorka Security Private Limited, Service Private Limited for providing the security services. The service provider has submitted the following invoice for the month of Asad 20X2. भनेपछि अब यो सबै अमाउन्टमा अपार्ट फ्रम दैट टीडीएस लाग्नु पर्यो. यसमा पनि धेरै डिस्कसन गरिरहनु जरुरी भएन, माथिकै क्वेशन हो. A awards a contract to Mr. B for rupees 5 crores and makes the following payments but fails to deduct tax at source. With what are the consequences under the Income Tax Act 2058? सबभन्दा पहिला मोबिलाइजेसन एडभान्स छ, त्यसपछि रनिङ बिलहरु पेमेन्ट भएको छ. भनेपछि mobilization advance is not a payment that attracts withholding tax. However, the contractee shall have withheld tax while making payment of rupees 80 lakhs, 120 lakhs and rupees 90 lakhs at the time of settlement of first, second and third running bills respectively. As explained above, the failure of payer does not relieve him from filing withholding tax return and paying withholding tax amount to revenue authority. Therefore, he has to file a return and pay withholding tax amount within 25,000 in respect of first mark, 20 weeks as Vaisak first Chaitra and 25th of Savan first Asadko भनेर आयो. यसमा केही छ नबुझेको यो क्वेशनमा? कसैले नबुझेको केही छ भने सोध्नु है, मैले 1 मिनेट दिए तपाईहरुलाई. क्वेशन नम्बर 96.
सर यो सेक्सन 89(1) मा चाहिँ इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्टलाई पनि लिने कि नलिने हो हामीले?
इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको चाहिँ के हो?
जस्तो अब रिटर्न एग्रीमेन्ट र कन्ट्र्याक्ट नभए पनि हुन्छ नि.
यो क्याट 3 को स्टुडेन्टलाई वा सीए स्टुडेन्टलाई सीए लाई कुटो लाग्छ इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट. इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको के हो सुनौं त.
हैन रिटर्नमा नलेखे पनि जस्तो नर्मल कोर्स अफ बिजनेसमा पनि 50,000 भन्दा माथिको ट्रान्ज्याक्सन भइरा हुन्छ नि त.
त्यो इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो कि एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो?
अब त्यसलाई रिटर्नमा सबै कुरा छ भने हुन्छ, नत्र अब बाहिर सिम्पल बाहिर
कन्ट्र्याक्ट हुँदैन भनेर कहाँ लेखा छ? कन्ट्र्याक्ट एक्ट पढ्यो भने है हामीले पढ्नु पर्छ नि हैन? कन्ट्र्याक्ट एक्ट पढ्नु पर्छ नि हैन हामीले?
पर्छ सर, पढ्थ्यो क्याप्टुमा.
क्याप्टुमा कि क्याट्रीमा नि पर्ने होला, थाहा छैन मलाई हैन. इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको के हो, एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको के हो?
लिगल फर्मालिटी नभए पनि अब कन्ट्र्याक्टमा गइहाल्ने.
कन्ट्र्याक्टको लागि 11 वटा एलिमेन्ट हुन्छ हो. कुनै पनि कुरालाई कन्ट्र्याक्ट भन्नको लागि 11 वटा एलिमेन्ट हुन्छ हो। फन्डामेन्टल एलिमेन्ट भनेको अफर हुन्छ, एक्सेप्टेन्स हुन्छ, कन्सिडरेसन हुन्छ, प्लुरालिटी अफ पार्टीज हुन्छ भनेर पढ्यो हो। यदि अफर, एक्सेप्टेन्स, कन्सिडरेसन छ भने त्यो कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो, एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो। क्यापेसिटी टु कन्डक्ट, टु इन्टर इन्टु कन्ट्र्याक्ट छ भने, यस्तो यस्तो कुराहरू छ भने 11 वटा एलिमेन्ट हुन्छ कन्ट्र्याक्टको, फन्डामेन्टल एलिमेन्ट। भर्बल कन्ट्र्याक्ट हुँदैमा त्यो कन्ट्र्याक्ट इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो र थोडी एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो। मैले पसलमा गएर सामान किनेर लिएर आएँ, कन्ट्र्याक्ट भयो कि भएन? यो एकचोटि इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको के हो, एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको के हो, कन्ट्र्याक्ट ल अनुसार पढौँ है। हामी एकदमै रङ टर्महरू युज गरिरहेको छौँ। कन्ट्र्याक्ट राम्ररी नपढाएको हो कि सिए फाउन्डेसनमा भन्ने लाग्छ मलाई चाहिँ। एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो त्यो, इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट होइन। कन्ट्र्याक्ट चाहिँ भर्बल हो तर एक्चुअल कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो। इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट भनेको सप्लाई अफ नेसेसिटिज भनेर पढाएको थियो होला। त्यो बौला मान्छेलाई चाहिँ नेसेसिटीको सप्लाई गर्यो, बौला मान्छे अब ठिक भयो, ठिक भएपछि पैसा पे गर्नुपर्छ कि पर्दैन भन्दा सप्लाई अफ नेसेसिटिजको केसमा चाहिँ के भन्छ अरे त्यो इम्प्लाइड कन्ट्र्याक्ट हो। त्यस कारणले गर्दा पेमेन्ट गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने खालको कुरा हो कि। माइनर छ कोही एकजना, उसलाई चाहिँ खाना खानको लागि एउटा पसलेले सहयोग गर्यो भन्ने एउटा केसै छ, ब्रिटिस केसै छ। पढ्नु पर्यो इम्प्लाइड भनेको के हो भन्ने कुरा। इट इज नट इम्प्लाइड, इट इज ओरल कन्ट्र्याक्ट। ओरल कन्ट्र्याक्ट भन्दैमा इम्प्लाइड होइन, एक्चुअल हो। विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्स अन रेन्ट। Mr. Madanlal is running a loss for stay only on a daily rent basis. It is not registered under VAT Act. The guest will stay there should deduct TDS on payment, but it is not practicable in practice. Is the practice right according to provision of Section 88? No guest deducts TDS and paid to the government. The payment by guest in relation to staying in laws is rent payment. Payment of rent attracts withholding of tax except in the following cases: in case the rent is paid to a natural person, or in case the rent is paid by a natural person in respect of his personal expense, that is, the rental payment is not connected to operation of his business. The rate of withholding tax in case of rental of laws, that is, room rental, is 10%. As such, since Madanlal is operating rent and he is a natural person, there shall be no withholding of tax while making payment of rent. त्यसमा के छ सोध्नु पर्ने? र साथीहरूको कहिलेकाहीँ समस्या चाहिँ एक्सेप्टेन्समा हुन्छ, मैले स्वीकार उक्तिमा समस्या हुन्छ भन्ने लाग्छ मलाई। आफूले सोचेको भन्दा फरक एन्सर आयो भने स्वीकार गर्न गाह्रो हुन्छ। जस्तो कि म एउटा इक्जाम्पल भन्छु, प्रिजम्पटिभ ट्याक्सेसन भोलुन्टरी हो र मैले पढाउने बेलामा क्लियरली भनेको छु प्रिजम्पटिभ ट्याक्सेसन भोलुन्टरी हो। यदि कुनै व्यक्तिले चाहन्छ भने D3 रिटर्न भरेर ट्याक्स नतिर्न पनि पाउँछ कानुन अनुसार। तर हामीहरूको साथीहरूमध्ये कसैलाई के लाग्छ भन्दा प्रिजम्पटिभ ट्याक्सेसन चाहिँ अनिवार्य हो भन्ने लाग्छ। र मलाई के क्वेसन सोधिएको थियो भने प्रिजम्पटिभ ट्याक्सेसन भोलुन्टरी हो भने किन मान्छेले चाहिँ जेरो ट्याक्स नतिरेर 2500 वा 4000 वा 7500 कर तिर्छ भनेर सोधिएको थियो। देयर आर कस्ट फ्याक्टर्स विथ रिगार्ड्स टु D3 रिटर्न भर्ने, किनकि D3 रिटर्न भर्दा 1 लाख भन्दा माथिको सेल्स पर्चेसको विवरण भर्नु पर्यो, फाइनान्शियल स्टेटमेन्ट बनाउनु पर्यो, फाइनान्शियल स्टेटमेन्ट बनाएर के भन्छ अरे त्यसपछि अनुसूची 13 भर्नु पर्यो, अनुसूची 10 भर्नु पर्यो, अनुसूची 5 भर्नु पर्यो, अनुसूची 5 को पनि डिटेलमा भर्नु पर्यो, सिम्प्लिफाइड रिटर्न भर्न पाइँदैन। र D3 भरिसकेपछि अरू ट्याक्स अब्लिगेसनका कस्टहरू आउँछन्, अडिट पनि गराउनु पर्ला कहिलेकाहीँ, त्यो भन्न सकिँदैन। त्यो हिसाबले गर्दा D3 भर्दैन मान्छेले, D1 भर्छ। त्यो चाहिँ सिम्प्लिफाइड हो। D1 भनेको सिम्प्लिफाइड रिटर्न हो। होइन म सिम्प्लिफाइड गर्दिनँ, म डिटेल गर्छु भन्यो भने त्यो पाइन्छ र ट्याक्स नतिर्न पाइन्छ। त्यही भएर आफूले आफ्नो दिमागमा जे छ त्यो मात्रै ठिक हो भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ तपाईहरुले छोड्नु पर्यो है त। अर्को क्वेशन छ, लिजर एभिएसन प्राइभेट लिमिटेड हैज टेकन, अनि एउटा कुरा ठ्याक्क यही बीचमा भनिहाले किनकि अलि छिटो गएको छ क्लास। अर्को कुरा भनेको चाहिँ मैले एकदम डिटेलमा नोट पढाएको छु, एकचोटी तपाईहरुले त्यो नोट चाहिँ राम्ररी पढ्नु होला। यदि तपाईहरुलाई थ्योरी आउँदैन भने प्र्याक्टिकल आउँदैन है, ढुक्क हुनुस्, एकदम राम्ररी पढ्नु होला। एभ्री टर्म एभ्री वर्डको महत्व हुन्छ, यतिकै म बोल्दिन, त्यो चाहिँ एकदमै ध्यान दिएर हेर्नु होला। तपाईहरुलाई थ्योरी आउँदैन भने प्र्याक्टिकल आउँदैन, तपाईहरुलाई भ्रम छ मलाई प्र्याक्टिकल मात्रै नआएको हो थ्योरी सबै आउँछ भन्नुहुन्छ भने त्यहाँ नै समस्या छ है, समस्या नै थ्योरीमा छ। लिजर एभिएसन प्राइभेट लिमिटेड has taken on lease an aircraft with seating capacity of 25 persons for operating mountain flights during winter season, it has to pay lease rental of rupees 30 lakhs for this season to the owner of aircraft which is registered in the name of non-resident in Switzerland. Discuss the liability to tax in Nepal of the above amounts and what will be the amount of TDS on above payments on 10% हो aircraft to lease मा यो त एकदम स्ट्रेट फरवर्ड क्वेशन हो यसमा समस्या छैन. Payment of transportation cost amount regarding the contract between Nepal Food Corporation, Karnali Air and Helicopter Private Limited to operate the rice and wheat to some mountaineering district by helicopter. Mention the rate. भनेपछि भ्याट छ भने 1.5%, भ्याट छैन भने 2.5%. सक्यो. भ्याट छ भने 1.5% ट्रान्सपोर्ट कस्टको केसमा चाहे त्यो प्राइभेट गाडीमा होस् चाहे त्यो पब्लिक गाडीमा होस् ट्रान्सपोर्ट रेन्ट छ भने भ्याट बिल छ भने 1.5% नभए 2.5%. Sagarmatha Air Private Limited has taken 2 aircraft in lease from fancier company and it has to pay such lease amount. Mention the rate for withholding of tax and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. 10% हो non-residentले रिसिभ गरे त्यसकारणले गर्दा त्यो फाइनल withholding हो. Hari plans visit to Singapore. He purchases the ticket from Sarita Travels Private Limited. The travel company provides 6% discount to Hari in ticket out of its own commission to be receivable by air company. Mention the rate for withholding of tax and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. भन्दा यस्तो पेमेन्टमा टीडीएस लाग्ने कुनै पनि प्रोभिजन छैन त्यही भएर टीडीएस लाग्दैन. Asian Aviation Private Limited has taken on lease an aircraft with seating capacity. यो माथिको जस्तै क्वेशन हो 10%. Ram pays rupees 10,000 as rent to his house owner. Mention the rate of withholding of tax if any and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. भनेपछि नेचुरल पर्सनले रिसिभ गर्ने टीडीएस मा विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्स लाग्दैन. सरी नेचुरल पर्सनले रिसिभ गर्ने घर भाडामा विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्स लाग्दैन. र नेचुरल पर्सनले व्यावसायिक गतिविधि बाहेक अरु अवस्थामा टीडीएस काट्न पाउँदैन. भनेपछि answer, if the house owner is natural person, there is no requirement to withhold tax. Or if Ram is not making payment of house rent in respect of conducting his business, there is no requirement of withholding of tax. However, if Ram is making payment in respect of conducting business and the house owner is not a natural person, there shall be withholding of tax at the rate 10% of payment. के छ सोध्नु पर्ने यसमा? Taxation retirement payments मा 2058 12-18 सम्म अप्रुभ भएको अमाउन्ट घटाएर बाँकीमा ट्याक्स लाग्ने हो. अनि रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टको केसमा अप्रुभ रिटायरमेन्ट फन्ड वा गभर्नमेन्ट अफ नेपालले पेमेन्ट गरेछ भने 5%, अनअप्रुभ रिटायरमेन्ट फन्डबाट पेमेन्ट भएको छ भने गेनमा 5% र 2058 चैत्र 18 गते भन्दा अगाडिको रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टमा अप्रुभ भएको रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टमा टीडीएस लाग्दैन वा ट्याक्सै लाग्दैन र बाँकी सबैमा 15% हो. The retirement benefit under the scheme and gratuity accrued after the implementation of that act of the act attracts withholding taxes at the rate 15%. Such amount is 15,25,000. Tax to be withheld is 2,28,750. Mr. Ram Narayan Yadav, an employee retiring from the service of Nepal Bank Limited, gets amount others rupees 2 lakhs from a fund maintained by the bank for the welfare of the staffs. यसमा 15% TDS लाग्यो, फाइनल withholding हो. तपाईहरुलाई अब रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टको समरी यति हो है. यहाँ जुन छ यो माथि यो 105 को यो यसमा यो यति हो समरी. रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टको केसमा तपाईहरुले यति मेमोराइज गरे भयो. यसमा 5% अफ गेन, यसमा 5% अफ गिफ्ट, यसमा नो ट्याक्स. अरु बाँकी सबैमा 15%. यति समरी मेमोराइज गरिसकेपछि बाँकी सबै आन्सर लेख्न सकिन्छ. रिटायरमेन्ट फन्ड भनेको के हो, रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्ट भनेको के हो, रिटायरमेन्ट कन्ट्रिब्युसन भनेको के हो, यु क्यान मेमोराइज दिस. गाह्रो कुरा होइन. Applicability of tax on transfer of gratuity amount to ARF and payment therefrom. यो म भन्दै हाल्छु. नम्बर 1 ARF मा sorry, if the gratuity is deposited in employer single account. Employer single account मा लगेर जम्मा गराछ भने इम्प्लोयरले त्यस्तो अमाउन्टलाई डिडक्ट गर्न पाउँछ तर इम्प्लोयीको केसमा ट्याक्स एट द टाइम अफ रिटायरमेन्ट 15% को दरले टिडीएस लाग्छ. If the gratuity is deposited in individual account of each of the employees maintained at approved retirement fund. Employees maintained at approved retirement fund. Approved retirement fund. If the gratuity is deposited in individual account of each of the employees maintained at approved retirement fund, यस्तो अवस्थामा चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दा the amount is treated as contribution to approved retirement fund by employer, ARF by employer, and the same is included while calculating income from employment of employee. Income from employment of the employee. कर्मचारीको employment income calculate गर्दा त्यसलाई के गरिन्छ income include गरिन्छ. The amount is also considered while computing taxable income as reduction as a result. The amount is also considered while computing taxable income as reduction as a result of contribution to approved retirement fund by the employee. Contribution to approved retirement fund. At the time of retirement tax is applicable as the payment is made. Tax is applicable at the rate 5%. Rate 5% of gain, since it is paid by approved retirement fund. नबुझेको के छ यसमा नबुझेको छ भने क्वेशन सोधिहालौं. हेलो
यसमा बुझा थिएन एउटा प्र्याक्टिकल यसैमा प्रब्लम थियो सोध्दा हुन्छ
सोधौं न
सीआईटी त एप्रुभ रिटायरमेन्ट फन्ड भयो नि सर
भयो
त्यसमा ग्रेच्युटी डिपोजिट गरेको थियो हैन सर
कुनमा माथिको केस कि तलको केस ए कि बी बी हो
हजुर
ग्रेच्युटी इन्डिभिजुअल अकाउन्ट अफ इम्प्लोइमा लगेर जम्मा गरे हो
इन्डिभिजुअल चाहिँ इन्डिभिजुअलमा हो
इम्प्लोयर सिंगल अकाउन्ट त हैन नि सीआईटी मा भएको
त्यो हैन इम्प्लोयर सिंगल अकाउन्ट हैन इट्स इन एभ्री इन्डिभिजुअल को छुट्टा छुट्टै अकाउन्ट खोलेर त्यसमा 8.3
त्यसो भए यो यही गर्ने अमाउन्ट इन्कममा इन्क्लुड गर्ने अनि त्यसपछि त्यो अप्रुभ रिटायरमेन्ट फन्डमा जम्मा गरेको अमाउन्ट 3 लाख रुपैयाँसम्म कन्सिडर गर्ने र एट द टाइम अफ रिटायरमेन्ट सीआईटी ले 5% अफ गेन टीडीएस काट्छ.
हो त्यही चाहिँ अलिकति कन्फ्युजन के भयो भने सीआईटी ले इम्प्लोयीले छोड्ने बेलामा चाहिँ टोटल जति पेमेन्ट गर्छ त्यसमा 15% ट्याक्स काटेर दियो के
त्यो CIT लाई मुद्दा हाल्नु पर्यो।
भकै त्यही थियो सर, अफिसबाट 4-5 जनाले छोडेको थियो, सबैको 15% काटेर त्यो पनि टोटल जति विथड्र गर्ने अमाउन्ट त्यसमै 15% काटेर
CIT ले बुझेन, बुझाउनु पर्यो कसैले गएर यो भने यो हो भनेर।
यस
त्यही हो। त्यो कन्ट्रिब्युटरी भनेको के हो, नन कन्ट्रिब्युटरी भनेको के हो, CIT ले नबुझा। Shamsundar Sharma has retired from Government of Nepal 2018 under voluntary retirement scheme. He has served the government for 20 years. His basic salary including grade was 80 per month at the time of his retirement. As per the scheme, he is entitled to 7 years salary as a golden handshake. He is also entitled for gratuity equivalent to 1.5 months salary for every year of completed service. As per the official record, the amount of gratuity is 3 lakh, determine the taxable amount and the amount of TDS at the time of payment to Shamsundar, specifying the provisions of Income Tax Act 2058. As per example 16.2.4 of Income Tax Directives, Wizard Society updated 2077, page 34 of Chapter 16, withholding of taxes. The retirement payment amount pertaining to periods of before 2018 is calculated and paid only at the time of retirement. As such, the exempt amount shall be computed based on the last month's salary as on the date of retirement. के कुरा बुझ्यो? As per the question, the person retires on 18 Chaitra 2058 after 20 years of service. The service period began from 19 Chaitra 2048 and the amount attributed to period from 19 Chaitra 2048 till 18 Chaitra 2058 is exempt. Total amount of retirement payment exempt as per section rule 20 subsection sub rule 6 20,000 last month salary multiplied by 1.5%, multiplied by 1.5 years multiplied by 10 lakhs. Total amount taxable 80 भयो. नेपाल सरकारले गरेको पेमेन्ट हो, त्यसकारणले गर्दा ओइ दिस इज मिस्टेक है, सरी। नेपाल सरकारले गरेको पेमेन्ट हो, त्यसकारणले गर्दा यसमा 5% ट्याक्स लाग्छ। Is since the payment is made by Government of Nepal, the applicable withholding tax rate is 5% of gain as follows. Payment amount कति छ? 19,80,000. 19,80,000 less higher of 50% of above. 50% of above or rupees 500,000. 9,60,000 होला हैन, 9 लाख के हुन्छ यो 90,000 गेन 9,90,000 भयो। TDS at the rate 5% calculated by yourself 1 lakh 79,500 हुन्छ। यो क्याल्कुलेट चाहिँ आफैले गरौँ, यो फाइनल गरिदिनु। TDS लागेन, क्वेश्चन नम्बर 109 मा इजी छ। अमाउन्ट पेड बाइ अप्रुभ रिटायरमेन्ट फन्ड 15 लाख, एक्युमुलेटेड प्रिन्सिपल 4 लाख। 15 लाख मा तपाईले 4 लाख रुपैयाँ घटाउनुस्, बाँकी रह्यो 9 लाख रुपैयाँ। 5 लाख रुपैयाँ 11 लाख रुपैयाँ। 11 लाख मा 5.5 लाख रुपैयाँमा ट्याक्स लागेन, 5.5 लाख रुपैयाँमा 27,500 ट्याक्स लाग्यो। अनअप्रुभ रिटायरमेन्ट फन्ड 15 लाख, 15 लाख 11 लाख, 11 लाख मा एक्युमुलेटेड इन्ट्रेस्ट 50,000 भनेको छ। 2 लाख रुपैयाँ गेन आउँछ, गेनमा 10,000 रुपैयाँ भनेको कुरा आयो। के छ क्वेशन? रिटायरमेन्ट पेमेन्टसँग रिलेटेड सकियो फर्स्ट क्वेशन्स। तपाईहरुले TDS मा केही क्वेशन छ भने सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ। सर्भिस फी। Twin Tower Housing Private Limited, a housing architectural company, has issued architectural consultancy from Key Consultant Private Limited India against the housing plan bill provided by Key Consultant Private Limited India is as follows. Professional charges for architectural consultancy 80, service fee, service tax, total bill amount 80. The amount of accountant of Twin Tower is confused as regards to payment to be sent to Key Consultant Private Limited and 6-year advice. Advise him as regards to VAT, TDS applicable on same and net payment to be sent, specify the provision of VAT Act 2052, Income Tax Act 2058 in this regard. As plus clause 1 of Article 7 of Double Tax Avoidance Agreement between Nepal and India, the profit of enterprise of a contracting state shall be taxable only in that state, unless the enterprise carries on business in the other contracting state through a permanent establishment situated therein. Clause 3B of Article 5 of Double Tax Avoidance Agreement between Nepal and India, there can be a service permanent establishment of an enterprise of a contracting state in the other contracting state only when service is furnished within the other contracting state for more than 90 days in any 12 months period. 73 subsection 4 and subsection 5 Income Tax Act 2058, wherein international agreement is concluded that exempts income and payment from taxation or provides that lower rate of tax is applied, then the provisions of international agreement prevail over national legislation. यो चाहिँ fundamental principle भयो है. In view of above, Key Consultant Private Limited India does not have a permanent establishment in Nepal, which means as per Article 7.1 of DTA, the income is taxable only in India and not in Nepal. As per 88.4 GO, in case of payments that are exempt from tax, there is no requirement of withholding of tax. As such, there is no requirement of withholding of tax while making payment to Key Consultant Private Limited India. In relation to VAT on such service, as per Section 82 of Value Added Tax Act 2052, Twin Tower Housing Private Limited is receiving service from a foreign party that is not registered for VAT in Nepal. Therefore, it must pay VAT under reverse charging mechanism, considering earlier of payment of date or payment date, earlier of payment date or receiving service, or date of receiving service as time of supply. The amount of repatriation to India is 8,40,000 and VAT to be paid is 80. 8,40,000 भनेको चाहिँ 5,25,028 को 1.6015 गरे होला अनि त्यसपछि आएर VAT चाहिँ त्यसको 13%. जति बिल अमाउन्ट छ त्यसकै 13%. यसमा केही छ? If you have the questions, please ask the question. साथीहरु सोधौं है, क्वेशन छ भने. गाली खान्छु भनेर नडराउ, क्वेशन सोधौं. सबैले बुझेछन् भनेर मान्नु पर्यो. Civil Housing Limited has received an invoice. Mr. Pradhan for legal advisory services rendered यति, asks accountant full payment हैन TDS पर्छ 1.5% TDS काट्नु पर्छ भनेर लेख्ने हो, सकियो. यो तपाईहरुले यो पढेपछि बुझिन्छ. Smart Limited, an industrial company, has made the following payments during year 64-65 but did not return income tax at source and pay to the government while conducting the tax audit. In Baisakh 2067, tax officer found that the payments made with the deduction of tax and issued a notice. Every month salary amount, last date of the month, 80 month requiring 75,000 per month. Payment of rent 50,000 every quarter. Consultancy fee, consequence of the notice as per Section 90 subsection 8, where IRD believes that a person fails to submit withholding tax return and pay withholding taxes within the due date of filing return and payment of taxes, IRD may issue a return notice requiring the person to pay the amount not paid or less paid along with interest under Section 119 and fees under Section 120. Unless Mr. Smart Limited opts for filing administrative application as per Section 115, it must be withholding it must pay the withholding tax assessed by tax officer. Amount to be paid by the company. As per Section 93, in case of withholding agent fails to withhold tax, it is deemed that withholding agent has withheld tax at the time of making payments. Withholding tax shall file withholding agent shall file withholding return, tax return in respect of taxes withheld in any month within 25 days of such month. In case of failure to do so, as per Section 117, the withholding agent is required to pay fees at the rate 2.5% per annum withholding tax in concern for month or part of month from the due date of filing return until the date when the return is actually filed. 92, withholding agent shall pay taxes withheld and deemed to be withheld during any month within 25 days of such month. In case of failure to do so, 15% per annum. In view of above, following amounts will be assessed by tax officer as on Baisakh 2087, payable within Asad 2067 in respect of withholding tax obligation of person. Withholding tax amount, we assume that outstanding is payable to natural person, and as per restrictive clause of proviso 5 to 88.1, there is no requirement of withholding of tax on such rental payment. Further, it is assumed that consultancy service provider is not registered for VAT and the contract payment is in excess of rupees 50,000. त्यति भएपछि प्रिन्सिपल अमाउन्ट अफ विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्सेस त्यति भयो. फिज ओके सरी त्यति धेरै हुन्छ. $75,000 प्लस 15 $75,000 प्लस 15 दुना 30 75 1.5 र 1.5% 5 20 5 5 10 2 12 20 यो अलिकति बिग्रेछ कि जस्तो छ है थोरै बिग्रे कि जस्तो लाग्यो मलाई यो 75,000 प्लस 30,000 प्लस 1.5% 15 5 7500 75,000 प्लस 30,000 75 र 30 15 दुना 30 105 र 7 1,07,000 1,12,500 मिस्टेक भयो 1,12,500 भयो कसरी आयो यो भन्दा चाहिँ यो 75,000 एक्जाम क्वेशनले दिएको छ यो 20,000 को 15% र 50,000 5 लाख को 1.5% यसको 50% तपाईले क्याल्कुलेट गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ 120 अनुसार 1,12,556 1,250 भयो 250 1,12,500 को 1.5% यो तपाईहरु आफैले गर्नु होला है 1,12,500 को 2.5% मल्टिप्लाइड बाइ अब कति महिना हो यो पनि त्यही हो 1,12,500 को अब त्यो मन्थ वाइज चाहिँ क्याल्कुलेसन गर्नुपर्छ तल भनेपछि यो त्यो तरिकाले तपाईहरुले क्याल्कुलेट गर्नु होला यसलाई यो दुईटा क्याल्कुलेसन तपाईहरुकै जिम्मा भयो प्रिन्सिपल अमाउन्टलाई नै एसेसमेन्ट भनिएको छ यो त करेक्ट रहेछ कि हो करेक्ट रहेछ ओके फीज र इन्ट्रेस्ट चाहिँ करेक्ट रहेछ है ओके 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 पर मन्थ 75,000 रहेछ नि त हैन त्यो सबै करेक्ट रहेछ अघि सरी कसैले भनेन मलाई सबै करेक्ट रहेछ 9,37,500 तल क्याल्कुलेटेड छ है 9,37,500 त्यसपछि कुन महिनाको कति कति डिले असारसम्मलाई मानेर भनेर क्याल्कुलेट गराछ A poor company limited is planning to invest in a new cigarette factory near Pokhara and other long-term projects like housing, corporate office, etc. And there will be substantial cost outlay on this project. The company is ordered to fund the long-term projects and also to bridge timing difference in operating cash flow. Is also evaluating the option of borrowings from shareholders, both local as well as non-resident parent companies limited incorporated in India. Please advise the applicability of withholding tax by poor company limited and filing return and other aspects thereof. अब यसमा धेरै कुरा त के गर्नु पर्यो र फाइलिङ रिटर्नको कुरा यही हो टीडीएस तिर्ने कुरा यही हो as per section 88 as per section 88(1) the TDS on payment of interest is 15%. TDS हो सकियो since it is under resident bank, resident financial institution, resident entity issuing bonds, resident entity issuing debentures or cooperative, resident cooperative or resident listed company. किनकि यो प्राइभेट कम्पनी हो त्यही भएर 15% हो त्यो नेचुरल पर्सनलाई पेमेन्ट गरे पनि वा कम्पनीलाई पेमेन्ट गरे पनि Leisure Aviation Private Limited has taken on lease an aircraft with seating capacity of 25 persons for operating modern flights during the season. Mr. William, a German citizen who is non-resident in Nepal, made necessary arrangements for getting the aircraft in time. Leisure Aviation Private Limited paid ₹3 lakhs as commission to Mr. William. Discuss the liability to tax in Nepal of the above amounts and what will be the amount of TDS on above payments. Service fee को केसमा समरी यो आयो Service fee is paid to a VAT registered service provider. Rate is 1.5%. To a resident entity dealing by exempt transaction 10%. Service fee is exempt from tax or is paid by a natural person that is not related to such natural person business or is subject to taxation under 67 or is paid in respect of articles published in newspaper. Yogesh, service fee is exempt from tax if it is paid by a natural person that is not related to such natural person business or is subject to taxation under section 87 or is paid in respect of articles published in newspaper. No TDS. Tax and TDS. Service fee income is deemed to have source in such country where the activities are carried out unless it is paid by government of Nepal. Mr. William is entitled to service fee and the activity has link with Nepal. Therefore, the amount received by him is subject to withholding tax at the rate 15%. Here's your question. Mr. Ram Manohar Lal, an Indian citizen, visits Nepal very frequently for some business purposes. During his visit, he always stays with his friend in Kathmandu as a paying guest. He stayed for 25 days, 26 days, 15 days, and 24 days in respect to Shravan, Asoj, Push, Baisakh. During his stay in Nepal, he worked with Messrs Variety Company Limited. The company has decided to pay rupees 1,50,000 as commission based on his sincere promotional efforts. TDS कति लाग्छ भनेर भनेको छ 15% किनकि यो सर्भिस फी हो सकियो यो क्वेशन एकचोटी हेरौँ नबुझ्ने केही छ सबैले बुझिराख्यो होला Payment against service contracts to non-resident company by a resident company. Mention the rate for withholding of tax and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. यो more or less discussion गरियो final withholding हो तर यदि non-resident person ले नेपालमा permanent establishment मार्फत सर्भिस दिएको छ भने त्यस्तो अवस्थामा final withholding हुँदैन non-resident ले permanent establishment मार्फत सर्भिस दिएको छैन भने 15% TDS लाग्छ र त्यो final withholding हुन्छ Malin Bank Limited has to pay rupees 2,50,000 consultancy fee for the study of consumers behavior to Annapurna Consultancy and Research Center Private Limited, which is registered in Nepal, and it is VAT registered. To mention the rate 10%. Final withholding होइन. ABC Private Limited has received an invoice for 80 inclusive of VAT. ABC Private Limited has received an invoice of rupees 1,13,000 from Messrs Sherpa Associates for the consulting services. Messrs Sherpa and Associates for the consulting services rendered during fiscal year 63-64. Mention TDS rate. %. Final withholding होइन. ICANN has paid rupees 15,000 to Ramesh for lectures delivered by him on direct taxation. 15% final withholding because it is casual lecture fee. Because it is casual lecture fee. The college is paying rupees 20,000 to Mr. Ramesh for studying various question papers. Ramesh is an employee of the college and getting regular remuneration. Income include गर्ने. Final withholding होइन. BS Enterprises pays rupees 11 including back to a chartered accountant for audit. 10% final withholding होइन. A telecommunication company resident in Nepal is facing the following problems with regard to deduction of TDS. The company is providing international communication services to local customers by using facilities of optical fiber and satellite service providers situated outside Nepal. The company pays fixed charge plus fee based on transmission of information data periodically against these services sponsor. As per 67.6 JA, the payment in respect of transmission of data through radio, cable, optical fiber, or satellites. Satellite is deemed to have source in Nepal when the data is transmitted via equipment installed in Nepal. Because my installed outside Nepal, sir, therefore त्यो सोर्स नेपाल बाहिर हुन्छ, सोर्स नेपाल भन्दा बाहिर भएपछि टिडीएस को एप्लिकेबिलिटीको कुरा आएन। Number 2, the company has been purchasing various equipment services from various domestic and foreign suppliers for the enhancement of its service and maintenance. यहाँ तपाईले चारवटा कुरा देख्नुहुन्छ, purchase of equipment from domestic suppliers, purchase of equipment from foreign suppliers, purchase of service from domestic suppliers, and purchase of service from foreign suppliers. Purchase of equipment from domestic suppliers moving 11 दिन period मा 50,000 भन्दा माथि छ भने चाहे रिटर्न कन्ट्र्याक्ट होस् चाहे भर्बल कन्ट्र्याक्ट होस् 1.5% टीडीएस काट्नु पर्यो। इक्विपमेन्ट फ्रम फरेन सप्लायर्स को केसमा 5% टीडीएस काट्नु पर्यो। यो फरेन सप्लायर को केसमा त हरेक पेमेन्टमा 5% टीडीएस हो। पेमेन्ट अफ सर्भिस फ्रम डोमेस्टिक सप्लायर को केसमा हामीले माथि पनि डिस्कसन गरिसक्यौं। ओके, यो करेक्टै रहेछ। Service fee is exempt from tax or is paid by a natural person that is not related to such natural person's business or is subject to taxation under section 87 or is paid in respect of articles published in newspapers भने टीडीएस लागेन। अरु सबै बाँकी केसमा 15% लाग्यो भने हामीले माथि डिटेलमा कुरा गरिसकेका छौं यसमा। पर्चेस अफ सर्भिस फ्रम फरेन सप्लायर को केसमा फरेन सप्लायरबाट सर्भिस पर्चेस गर्दाखेरि नो नीड फर विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्सेसन। The company has been sending its equipment to various domestic and foreign companies for maintenance. भनेपछि यही हो ठ्याक्कै त्यो सर्भिस नै हो भनेपछि मैले के गर्ने अब कथा सकाइदिएँ। The company has been sending its equipment to various domestic and foreign company for maintenance. Maintenance service from domestic maintenance service from domestic company. From domestic company. Maintenance service from foreign company. क्वेशन चाहिँ आइडेन्टिफाई गर्नु पर्यो है तपाईहरुले। क्वेशनमा के सोधेछ त्यो चाहिँ आइडेन्टिफाई गर्नु पर्यो। क्वेशन राम्ररी पढ्नु पर्यो। भेहिकल मेन्टेनेन्स एडभर्टाइजमेन्ट भनेको छ यो माथिको जस्तै हो ठ्याक्कै यो यसमा यो फरकै छैन। म तपाईहरुलाई आन्सर ठ्याक्कै मिलाएर लेखिदिन्छु यसमा कति पनि फरक छैन। Purchase of materials from domestic suppliers. Purchase of materials. Materials मा के पर्यो भन्दा photocopy paper, water, stationery, advertisement. Photocopy paper, water, stationery. Paper, water, stationery, stationery. सर्भिस में के पर्यो भन्दा इंक्लूडिंग vehicle maintenance. एडभर्टाइजमेन्टमा टीडीएस लाग्छ जस्तो मलाई लाग्दैन किनकि इन्कम ट्याक्स डाइरेक्टिभले एडभर्टाइजमेन्टलाई सर्भिस भन्दा बाहिर राखे जस्तो लाग्छ मलाई। सकियो। विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्स अन इन्ट्रेस्ट। Mr. Ram Balak has a pharmacy. He has saving account in RB Bank Lalitpur and usually he deposits and withdraws from the account for business purpose. The gross interest provided by the bank is 32,000. Mention the rate for withholding of tax and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. एक जनाले चाहिँ 125 भन्दा माथि 150 सम्मको आन्सर मलाई पठाउनु भएको छ है। I appreciate that. बाकी कसैले पनि होमवर्क गरेको छैन। होमवर्क गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने सबैलाई थाहा छ तर अब दिनको 2.5 घण्टा भन्दा बढी दिन नसक्ने भएपछि होमवर्क गर्न भ्याइदैन पनि है। अनि अब आफैले नगरिसकेपछि चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दा एक्जामिनेसनमा चाहिँ गाह्रो हुन्छ। अब इन्ट्रेस्ट 15% हो रेसिडेन्ट पर्सनले पेमेन्ट गर्दा दुईटा केसमा बाहेक तीनटा केसमा बाहेक है टीडीएस नलाग्ने केस पनि छ नि त। रेसिडेन्ट बैंक or financial institutionले foreign bank in respect of loans obtained in foreign currency in order to invest in areas prescribed by Nepal National Bank मा 10%। नेचुरल पर्सनलाई बिजनेससँग रिलेट नभएको र रेसिडेन्ट बैंक फाइनान्शियल इन्स्टिट्युसनले एन्टिटी अथराइज्ड टीसी बोन्ड्सले अर डिबेन्चर्सले कोअपरेटिभले वा लिस्टेड कम्पनीले बोन्ड्स डिबेन्चर र गभर्नमेन्ट बोन्डमा इन्ट्रेस्ट पे गर्छन् भने 5%। नेचुरल पर्सनले इन्ट्रेस्ट पे गर्छ भने र त्यो इन्ट्रेस्टको उसको बिजनेससँग कुनै पनि कनेक्सन छैन भने वा रेसिडेन्ट ब्याङ्क एन्ड फाइनेन्सियल इन्स्टिट्युसनलाई इन्ट्रेस्ट पे गरिन्छ भने वा म्युचुअल फन्डलाई इन्ट्रेस्ट पे गरिन्छ भने वा इन्ट्रेस्ट चाहिँ इन्कम ट्याक्स नलाग्ने खालको छ भने विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्स लाग्दैन। यो केसमा नेचुरल पर्सन इन्ट्रेस्ट अफ नेचुरल पर्सन हेज नो कनेक्सन टु बिजनेस हेज कनेक्सन टु हिज बिजनेस देयरफोर टिडीएस रेट इज 15%। यो फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ हुँदैन। भनेपछि यो जुन माथिको यो तीनवटा पोइन्ट छ इन्ट्रेस्टको केसमा समरी यति नै हो कि तपाईले यति इन्ट्रेस्टको केसमा यति समरी मेमोराइज गर्नुभयो भने बाँकी सबै क्वेसनको आन्सर दिन सकिन्छ। Sam paid rupees 15,000 as interest to Ram for loan taken from him. सकियो। पर्सनल पर्पसको लागि लेखेको छ। अब नेचुरल पर्सनले पे गर्यो भने बिजनेस पर्पस कि पर्सनल पर्पस भन्नु पर्यो। पर्सनल पर्पस 88(4) सबसेक्सन 1 अनुसार के हो भन्दा पोइन्ट नम्बर सी भनेर भनेको छ 88(4) क अनुसार के हो भन्दा Sam cannot withhold tax। नेचुरल पर्सनले आफ्नो व्यवसायसँग सम्बन्धित नभएको कुनै पनि पेमेन्ट गर्दा टिडीएस काट्न पाउँदैन। भनेपछि Samले ट्याक्स विथहोल्डिङ गर्न पाएन। Withholding tax on windfall gain. Sunsari Noodles provided a car to Mr. Ramari that Ramari has got the price on purchasing the packet of noodles manufactured by Sunsari Noodles. The market price of car is 9,50,000. Mention the rate for withholding of tax and give your view whether it is final withholding or not. Windfall gain 25%. When a person makes payment, kunma bhanda market value of that car. Section 27 अनुसार मार्केट भ्यालु अफ कारमा भयो। त्यही भएर अब ग्रस अप गर्न पनि पाइयो। त्यो फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ हो। Where a person makes payment to another person by way of transfer of asset, market value of such asset shall be considered as the payment. Therefore, tax shall be withheld on 9,50,000 if Sunsari Noodles wishes to collect TDS amount from Mr. Ramari. In case Sunsari Noodles wishes to bear withholding tax amount, the tax shall be withheld on rupees 12,66,667 रुपैयाँमा। नबुझेको छ भने सोधौँ है। विथहोल्डिङ ट्याक्स अन रोयल्टी। रोयल्टीमा ब्याडविल भए पनि नभए पनि 15%। मेमोराइज गरौँ। रोयल्टीमा ब्याडविल भए पनि नभए पनि 15%। रोयल्टीको केसमा विथ ब्याडविल पनि 15%, विदाउट ब्याडविल पनि 15%। यसमा धेरै दिमाग लगाउने होइन। रोयल्टीको केसमा ब्याडविल पनि 15%, विदाउट ब्याडविल पनि 15%। अब यो रोयल्टी हो भनेपछि 15% टिडीएस फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ कथा सकियो। यो पार्टिकुलर क्वेसनमा तपाईहरुले क्वेसन हेर्यो भने बुझिहाल्नुहुन्छ। एम प्राइभेट लिमिटेड इज पेइङ रोयल्टी टु जेड लिमिटेड सकियो 15% टिडीएस। रेसिडेन्ट इन्स्योरेन्स कम्पनीबाट भएको पेमेन्ट। Mr. A has taken an endowment policy for rupees 10 lakhs from Bima Sansthan for 10 years. His annual premium, he paid annual premium up to rupees 8 lakhs. Then he wanted to terminate the policy and receive the following amounts during 60-61. Calculate the taxable amount and tax payable on the same. Policy amount 9 lakhs थियो, bonus 0.5 भयो, total amount 9.5 लाख आयो, 1.5 लाख रुपैयाँ गेन भयो, गेनको 5% टिडीएस लाग्छ अनि त्यो फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ हुन्छ। एकदमै सजिलो छ। On the death of an individual, Rashtriya Bima Sansthan has paid rupees 10 lakh to eldest son of the deceased. TDS लाग्छ कि लाग्दैन भन्ने कुरा हो। There shall be no withholding of tax in respect of amount subject to exemption under any provision of Income Tax Act 2058. Proviso को clause 2 of section 31 कुनै पनि मान्छे मरे बापतको कम्पेन्सेसन रिसिभ गर्छ भने इन्कम ट्याक्स लाग्दैन। यो दुईटा प्रोभिजनलाई सँगै राखेर पढ्दाखेरि चाहिँ टिडीएस लागेन भन्ने कुरा हामीले कन्क्लुजन निकाल्यौं। फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ पेमेन्ट भनेको के हो, कुन पेमेन्टहरु फाइनल विथहोल्डिङ हुन्छन् त्यो सबैको बारेमा लेख्नुहोस् भनेर 1 2 3 4 पटक क्वेशन आछ हेर्नुस् है। 4 हो कति पटकको 1 2 3 4 5 6 पटक क्वेशन आछ। तर क्याप्चीमा आइसकेपछि चाहिँ आ रहन्छ, पुरानो क्वेशन चाहिँ धेरै चोटी आ रहेछ। तपाईहरुले अब यो मेमोराइज गर्नै परिहाल्यो। अर्को छ कलेक्सन अफ एडभान्स ट्याक्सेस बाइ एजेन्ट सेक्सन 95 को। XYZ Private Limited purchased 5,000 shares of National Bank Limited from Century Securities Trading at rupees 25 lakhs. National Bank Limited is a listed company. After holding the shares for 8 months, XYZ Private Limited sold these shares to ABC Private Limited through Century Securities Trading Company for a consideration of 25 lakh. has to pay 60,000 to Century Security for completing all the formalities of transfer share. What would be the amount of tax to be collected by NEPSE as per section 95 Co? Incomings 35 लाख, outgoings 25,60,000. कसरी भन्दा 25 लाख plus 60,000 रुपैयाँ आयो, 9,40,000 भयो. Wait, what is this? 10% कहाँबाट आयो? Listed company हो? Listed company हो? ए लिस्टेड कम्पनी हो र यो कम्पनीले गरेको पेमेन्ट हो, त्यही भएर 10% 94,000 एडभान्स ट्याक्स टु बी कलेक्टेड. कथा सकियो. अब अर्को प्रोभिजन आयो, टिडीएस सकियो. टिडीएस मा के क्वेशन छ भने तपाईहरुले मलाई सोध्न सक्नुहुन्छ. के छ क्वेशन? अब भोलिदेखि हिसाब सुरु हुन्छ. भोलिदेखि हिसाब सुरु हुन्छ है. तपाईहरु मलाई के गर्नु भने म 10 वटा क्वेशन चाहिँ म गर्दिन्छु, बाँकी तपाईहरुले गर्नुपर्छ. कुन कुन क्वेशन गर्ने ट्याक्क पिकअप गरेर भन्दिनु भयो भने म त्यही क्वेशन गर्दिन्छु तपाईहरुलाई. ठीक छ? भोलिदेखि हिसाब सुरु हुन्छ. आजलाई यति गरौँ. तपाईहरुसँग के क्वेशन छ भने सोध्नुस्. If you have any questions, please ask the question. Question छैन? सुतेको त हैन नि सबैजना. Okay. See you in the evening. Thank you very much.